Jackson County Drug Summit 7, Jackson County Prosecutor Jerry Jarzynka and Andy's Angels founder Mike Hirst. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
It's getting close. It's next Wednesday.
It is next Wednesday, which is March 8th, and it's going to be at the America One Event Center. It's basically free and open to the public. And there's also online registration. We really wanted to talk about that today. There's a link. One of the co-hosts is Drug Free Jackson, so you just go to their website, drugfreejackson.com/summit. You can sign up for the event. So we have plenty of room. We've got an excellent program. We basically, our featured keynote speaker is a doctor who specializes in addiction medicine, Dr. Kara Poland, who's an excellent speaker. She's going to talk about really after COVID, how we've seen a spike in substance use disorders, especially fentanyl and opioids. And so I think she's going to be really a very great source of information.
There's also a link on our homepage. You can sign up via that, and you can do it as late as the day before, right?
You can, and actually we will accept people who do show up the morning of and actually have not registered online. So there's plenty of space at the American One Event Center, so we've got that option.
Gentlemen, who should attend Drug Summit 7? Who are people that you would like to see, or who are people that would get a lot out of attending, Mike?
Well, first off, the schools are all sending a contingency of kids, which is really important. That's really a target audience that needs to be educated at this time. But I'd like to see the businesses send their people from their HR departments. It used to be that somebody tested positive for drugs, we're going to fire them.
Yeah.
Well, how about we test positive for drugs? Okay, let's get them into a program. Let's keep their job open. Let's get them into a treatment program. When they come back, it was once a very good employee. It can once again be a really good employee after they go through a treatment. And, you're just sentencing somebody to a life of addiction when you just fire them and send them down the road.
Right. It's going to get worse from that point on.
Absolutely.
If there's no help.
The dangers really have changed since you started the Drug Summit, mainly because of fentanyl, which is now available and instant killer.
Yeah, that's right, Bart. Basically, fentanyl has really changed the whole game dramatically. It's cheap. It comes from China, goes to Mexico. The drug cartels then put it in lots of different products, and they come up and sell in the United States. And the problem with it, especially when they make fake prescription pills or painkillers, that's become so sophisticated, that process, that it's really hard to tell if it's a real pill or not, a real oxycodone or Xanax. You don't know. And unfortunately, if it is a fentanyl counterfeit one, you can die from that. Especially if you don't have access to Narcan, you're in trouble.
Let's talk about these fake pills for a little bit, Mike. How important is it for parents to talk to their children about, because you don't know what you're taking, you just don't know. It's important. What type of conversation should we be having?
Yeah, you better have that conversation. It's hard to get kids to understand that if we buy this, we get this pill. Well, my dealer said that this is not one of them bootleg ones.
They don't know, does
they
it?
have no idea, and they don't care
Yeah.
either. They just want to make the sale. And then the kids will get on the internet and you buy them through the internet. They think they're buying something that's, I can get this on the internet, but it's really a drug cartel selling that product. You don't have to be an addict to die this time. You just take one time. Try it one time. And a lot of kids have died that never used drugs before. They just wanted to try this and they thought it was safe. Super dangerous.
Yeah, the stats are pretty clear from the CDC. Our last 3 years, the numbers have been astounding. 2020, 100,000 drug overdose deaths. The next year, 110, then 107,000 last year went down. But driving those deaths are fentanyl. I mean, pretty clearly, it's close to 70% are fentanyl related. So that tells you the problem with fentanyl and how big that is in our country.
You see in an obituary, death of a young person who is quoted as died unexpectedly. That is, to you, that jumps out at you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's usually a dead giveaway when it's died suddenly. then I start looking around, and looking at who they associate with, and I know right away what happened to that
Yeah.
person.
The format of Drug Summit, so you've got a guest speaker, and will there be like small group discussions and roundtables and things like that?
There's not going to be small group discussions. However, we are going to have a number of panels, but we're going to start out with a panel from Andy's Place. And I think to give people a chance to see how that place, that housing facility, that option has changed their lives in recovery at that particular Andy's Place. And then we're going to have the keynote speaker, Dr. Poland, and then we're going to have Lieutenant Ben Garrison from the Michigan State Police, who's going to talk about emerging drug trends, especially fentanyl, and how that's impacted people in Jackson County. And then we're going to have a couple other panels, a youth panel, and then a general recovery panel talking about how opioids have impacted our lives and recovery. And one of the great things, too, about this whole program is that there's going to be resource tables offering free information and resources of how to get to recovery for those who have substance abuse disorders.
Yeah. We're lucky in this town. I mean, the help we have, I mean, compared to other places.
Oh, absolutely.
it's-
Jackson's been fantastic.
It's good.
Well, and let me just add to that. I mean, I think Mike's pretty humble.
Yes.
You know, Andy's Place is one of a kind. There's nothing like it. It's just amazing. In fact, and Mike showed me a video that there's really a project to build another Andy's Place in Midland, and also in Southfield, hopefully in Kalamazoo. So that's a fantastic place, and anyone who's unfortunately been involved with opioids and addiction there, you know you have to have some type of stable housing once you get out of rehab. And so just an amazing effort that Mike and his family has done to come up with Andy's Place.
Quick story, my daughter and I were driving by Andy's Place and went into Jimmy John's past Vermeulen's, and of course my name's Andy, so she says, oh look, you know, Andy's Place, and it's not, you know, she goes to school with your grandkids, and was able to explain to her the complete story, and it was a great opportunity for me to bring it up, and wouldn't have been able to do that had we not driven by Andy's Place.
That's
so
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
That's
and
awesome.
to make the connection that, hey, you know, in your class, Andy's nephew is in your class. So that I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's important for the young kids to see, you know, they think of somebody that's a drug addict as this crazy, wild person. Yeah. It's nice. Wow, that's a really nice family they have there. Somebody died in their family from drugs? Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we're just pleased about how things are going there. We knew it'd take a little while to develop that community with inside there, but they have their own little committee. It's kind of like their own homeowners association, and, you know, empowering them is what it's all about, and they really police themselves, and they're steering the vehicle right now over there, and they're doing one hell of a job, that's for sure.
And we'll hear from residents of Andy's Place at the Drug Summit.
Yeah, and it's important for the young kids to hear these stories from these people. These are the real stories. This isn't, you know, you got that face right in front of you telling them what happened to them, and that they were once just like you. You know, had a lot of things going. I was in school. I was going to go to college, and this is what happened to me. And the long road it takes to get back.
It is March 8th. It's Drug Summit 7, and if you would like to sign up, you can just visit drugfreejackson.com/summit, and we encourage you to sign up. Guys, thanks so much for all you're doing. Thanks for being here today. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate that, and sign up. You want to save a life, probably in your own family, show up and become educated.
It's Drug Summit 7. Thank you to Jerry Jarzynka and Mike Hirst. More of the morning show right after this.